Okay, so I'm back. I appreciate all the support and I'm glad you are still subscribed. So I'm going to be posting a lot of videos in the coming months, and I am going to start with a video series on investing in the stock market. I finally published my book, so The Biology of of Success by Michael Simmons. You can find it on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, and I'll leave a link in the description box for you to go buy that. The information in this video and the video series I'm going to post on the stock market is from my book, my last chapter on investing in the stock market. I appreciate all the support and interest I've had from the NoFap video series, so I'm going to go back into posting more videos on NoFap. If you're subscribed and watching because you're interested in NoFap, I have 3 chapters in my book about sex and masturbation, as well as a chapter on the stock market. So please buy my book, and I will be posting more videos about sex and masturbation in the coming weeks. So bear with me. Anyways, if you're here for investing, very quick, this is about passive income and basically investing in the S&P. So again, all this information is in my book, The Biology of Success. You can buy it on Amazon. And basically, this just a few bits of information on the value of investing in the S&P 500. So what I did is I went over the returns that you'd receive from the investing in the S&P 500 from 1980 to 2019. Now I broke each decade down, and within that decade, I added up the annual return that you would get investing in the S&P 500 for 1980 to 1989. And then I divided that by 10. So I had 10 years, and then I divided by 10, and that's the annual average return you would realize if you invest in the S&P 500 for that decade. I did the same thing for every subsequent decade. So we have 4 decades total, and the annual average return was 12.99%, excluding inflation and an expense ratio. The annual average dividend was done the same way. So for the first decade, the average annual dividend was a little over 4%. 90 to 99 was 2%. 2009 was 1.8%. And then 2010 to 2019, 1.9%. So that would be the long-term passive income in investing in the S&P 500. So again, this is in my book. This is in my last chapter. Investing in the stock market. So if you measure investing in the S&P over a long period of time, how is it going to measure up with some stocks? So if you bought a stock and you just said, I am going to invest in this stock and I'm going to walk away for 20 years and come back and then realize my return. So I measured the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index down here against some of the bigger companies that you might invest in when you're investing in the stock market. And I used the January 2002 to January 2022 as the 20-year timeline. So how I did this was I took what the buy price for Disney and all these other companies were in January of 2002, and then I took the sell price of each stock in January 2022, took the difference, and then added the total dividend that somebody would have accumulated over those 20 years, got a total number, and then I divided it, and then I realized the percent return that you would have achieved if you invested in these individual companies over the 20 years. As you can see, the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index outperformed every other company, so this is 925%. An investor, if they invest in January 2002, bought the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index fund, they would have realized a 925% return on their investment, including dividends. So the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index, as well as Coca-Cola, had a split in 2012, which was included in these calculations. I included Biogen here because it did not pay a dividend the entire time. And Biogen only realized the investor 298% return. Pfizer, one of the bigger companies and bigger names in the stock market these days, only realized the investor 103% return over 20 years from January 2002 to January 2022. Coca-Cola was a dividend king, an aristocrat stock, only realized 596% return for a long-term investor. Boeing and Disney did better, but they did not compare to the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index. So if you are going to invest in the stock market and you want to do it long-term as a passive investment, I strongly recommend finding an S&P 500 index fund and just investing in that and just adding money continuously over a long period of time. Again, this information is in my book, The Biology of Success by Mike Simmons, and this is part 1 in a multi-part stock market investing series. Again, if you're here because of the biochemistry videos and you're looking for more of those, they will be coming. And I'm going to also add to my NoFap video series, so bear with me and be patient. Again, please subscribe, and more importantly, please buy my book. I appreciate it. Thank you.